These days we're obsessed with the new. Everything's bigger, better, brighter than ever. So it's a comfort to know that one tradition endures, that the spirit of Anzac lives on. And nowhere is it more robust than in Goondiwindi, Western Queensland, where the kids have found a unique way to honour the fallen. They scoured the archives, researching the lives of the young men from the district who went off to fight and die in the First World War. Then set out on an emotional pilgrimage to France and Belgium, following in the Anzac's footsteps. A new generation of Australians remembering the old. This is a school excursion like no other. These kids have travelled from outback Queensland to the heart of Europe to see where 90 years ago an entire generation of young Australians, just like them, was lost. This will be a highly personal and deeply emotional mission.
The first bit here, the one that's facing the gates, these are the lists of the people who died during World War I.
Their journey began a year ago back in Australia, in Goondiwindi, a speck on the map west of Brisbane. Teacher Melissa Taylor asked her students to choose a soldier's name off the town cenotaph and find out everything about his life and death.
So who were these people? Were they husbands? Were they sons? Did they have sons themselves? We need to try and find out in our research, who were they? All around Australia we've got...
They were farmers, butchers and bakers, country boys, lives from a century ago, about to take on a whole new meaning.
Try and pick a name and think about, well, what possibly did they do? Were they your age? Were they a bit older? Were they married? So you're going to become a part of the story and keep it going. So he's 18 years and 10 months old when he...
No, he's 17. I think he lied about his age.
He lied about his age, did he?
Each of the kids adopted a soldier.
By your last letter, you wanted to know.
Searching for each man's story. It became very personal.
I think he was only like 22 or 23 when he enlisted, so really young.
And you can see the rising sun badge on him.
Inevitably, as time went on, they began to realise those soldiers were once just everyday kids like them. Teenagers who had no idea of the hell on earth that awaited them in Europe.
Like, he was 4 years older than me, and that's really hard to comprehend. Like, when you think about it, they're only just going to uni now or leaving school or so on, and you couldn't imagine even picking up a gun, firing at anyone.
That's the last letter that he wrote. That was on the 16th.
School captain Jack Lucas chose a farmer, Irving Thompson, who signed up with the 5th Australian Pioneers. He was just 17. How old are you?
I'm 17, the same age as Irving was.
Right.
He lied to get in.
Yeah.
Put down 18 as his age. It's just it gives me a reality check, because I'm planning things to do after I leave school and go into uni and stuff, and he just signed up to go to war.
The last time Irving Thompson's family saw him, he was pedalling his bike down to the station to go and sign up. Irving's little sister Nia, now 93, still lives in Goondiwindi. Mrs. Woods, hello. She never met her brother.
I'm Jack Lucas.
She was born when Irving was on his way to France. Do you remember your mother talking about him?
Oh, all the time. I can remember as a tiny little thing, she was always crying when she got these letters.
When you hear Irving's letters, you know why.
We went out last night under heavy machine gun and artillery and rifle fire.
I can't be thankful enough for you giving me all this information on Irving, because it feels like I've got a story.
It's just incredible to go there because there's so many graves as far as your eye can see.
"93 years ago, Irving's journey to France took months on a troop ship. It took today's kids just 48 hours. They went straight to the old front line at the village of Fromell, the first big battle for the Australians after Gallipoli. 2,000 of our diggers were to die here in a single night.
Irving and his platoon, they've probably been in this town walking down this street.
Well that's true, isn't it? There's every chance that they walked down this road, marched down this road to the battle.
So this is a picture of Irving's division in England before they headed out. And they all look pretty keen, but I don't think they really knew what they were getting themselves into. This is the day before the battle in the trenches. That's the German front line there.
These are the trenches, are they?
Yeah. I think this was taken on the night of the battle. That's the Australian line there. And you can see there's not that much gap between them.
What's this countryside remind you of?
It's almost like home, because there's no hills in home except for the one down the back street.
No hills meant no cover against German machine guns, yet the Australians went out in wave after wave. You can still reach out and touch the wreckage of that terrible night.
It's already been blown up. Broken up there. And it's filled. I want to know if it's German or like Britain or something.
It was almost a throwback to the American Civil War. Sort of, you know, two lines of men just standing there killing each other, except most of the killing was done by the Germans.
No one tells the human story of the war better than author Les Carlyon. What was the Battle of Fromell all about?
What the generals thought Fromell was all about was a diversion. The Battle of the Somme had begun down south. The idea was, we'll attack the Germans at Fromell and tie them down there so they can't send reserves down south to the Somme. It's probably the most tragic night in Australian history, that night at Fromell.
Irving Thompson actually survived that tragic night, but then he made a courageous offer to go out and bring in his dying mates.
And the next day on the 21st, he volunteered to go and collect the wounded and the injured. And it's a pretty brave thing to volunteer for it because they're still